And we're back. We had to take a little break to cut the audio in half so we could uh, put it into YouTube. Rogue, do you have another question? I think we pretty much answered the gas bar part.
Well, yes, I do. It's probably one of the most things that has been bugging me since I started reading it is the fact that the gatekeeper has a crown that resembles the crown on Sora's necklace. So,
Yes.
what is that about?
Yes, what is that about? That is pretty interesting. In fact, you would have an even more pressing question had you read up to chapter 5,
Oh,
because. Dude,
well,
seriously.
if we're going to get this technical about this,
We are getting this technical about this because everything in the story is interwoven. But
okay.
to answer your question and then transition seamlessly into my writing style, that's a very good question that I am, of course, not going to answer because I'm notorious for not
No
spoiling the
spoilers.
story. But I just want to reiterate that that's a very important question. I want to tie this back into the Gaspar Axel question, uh, where people tacitly accept everything that's going on without questioning subtle details like the gatekeeper and Sora's necklace. The
Don't
reason.
accept it. Ask the questions.
Yes, ask the questions. I want to talk a little bit about why Sora wears a necklace. Square Enix sells jewelry. I'm not sure if you people know this, but you can
Really?
buy Sora's necklace. You can buy Squall's necklace. You can buy Tidus's necklace. You can buy rings and earrings and bracelets. Square Enix is trying to sell things. Not only that, but they like to make their characters look pretty. I'm not here to sell you jewelry. I'm not here to make my characters look pretty. The reason why I take the time to tell you that a certain character is wearing something or is looking a certain way or has their appearance set a certain way, it's not because I'm trying to peddle my wares. It's not because I've got nothing better to write. It's not even because I'm trying to paint you a picture, because you should be formulating your own picture in your mind. I'm not here to control you. I mention certain details because they're important. They're very important. Why they're important, I'm not going to tell you. You got to figure that out yourself. Put the pieces together. Why did I explicitly mention that the gatekeeper's emblem on his chest looks exactly like Sora's pendant? I didn't just say a crown. I didn't just say it's a golden emblem. I didn't
You
just say
said
it's some
it
kind of.
exactly, quote for quote,
Yes.
resembles quotation.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. I went out of my way to say this looks exactly like Sora's pendant. Why did I do that? Keep
But
asking
an
yourself that.
underlining thing. And now we have.
Oh, that sound means we have an impromptu question and answer stage because Rogue apparently just laid
Yay!
an egg with a question and answer in it.
The fans were tweeting at me, so I had to answer.
Of course. Okay, and the first question and answer that we have is from a private message that was sent to me by. And I want to just say this for the record. I apologize if I cannot pronounce any of your screen names properly. Screen names are notoriously difficult to pronounce. Uh, Kanjaga 93. I'm really sorry. I probably butchered that.
You killed that. I'm
I
sorry.
know. I probably totally killed that. I am so sorry. I haven't. I really apologize because this is somebody who often PMs me with, "You're doing a really great job," and I'm not sure why she doesn't review, but thanks for the PMs. I really appreciate them. She opens up as always. I like to say that this is a great chapter. Keep it up. But since you've asked, I do have a question. What made you decide to make Zack nobody? Zack's one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters ever, especially in Crisis Core, and I could never picture him without a heart. He died saving Cloud. Um, First, I'd like to say, Rogue, you really have to read the rest of this stuff.
I know.
You probably don't know
I'm
who
getting
Zach
on.
is, but
Actually, currently, while you're answering this question, because I already knew it was coming, I'm actually currently finishing up chapter 2.
so, in chapter 2 is when we first introduced Zach. So,
And
yeah, that's a pretty good thing to do. Finish
I'm trying
chapter
to keep
2.
up here. I'm trying to keep up.
Yes. Try harder. Okay.
I'm a chicken man. I'm slow. Leave me
You're a
alone.
chicken man. Yeah, I know. You got to be pecking that page to bits. But, alright. So, why is Zach a nobody? Actually, I should have said this earlier. Please, if you have not read the story up to chapter 25 or 26, do not listen to this podcast. It's full of spoilers from previous chapters. If you're only on chapter 2 or chapter 3,
Like the
and
rogue chicken.
no, but if you're not the Rogue Chicken, because Rogue's my producer, he has special privileges that you do not.
Yay!
You're going to be spoiled to death. Okay. Zach is a nobody. Why did I decide to make Zach a nobody? I think that's a fantastic question because I did not decide to make Zach a nobody. Zach decided that he wanted to be a nobody, and I just made it so. I was writing I believe it was chapter 12, and I wanted to do something really cool, like something heart-stopping. It was either chapter 12 or chapter 11. Chapter 11 is Zach-centric, so it might have been chapter 11. It's hard to remember because this was so long ago, but I wanted to do something to really make a huge punch and impact on this story, and I don't want any of my characters to be too powerful or too happy or too kind. Everybody has a cross to bear in this story. Everybody has something wrong with them. Everybody has a conflict, has an internal problem, an external problem. We already know Leon's problem. I think that's pretty obvious. Some people that you
I
may
don't.
not... You should know Leon's problem when you get to chapter 4, at least.
I mean,
Rogue.
as soon as I get to chapter 4. I'm actually almost done with chapter 2, so I'm about to start chapter 3.
That's great, because chapter 3 is the shortest chapter.
Hey, what time you have right now for the thing?
It's
We're running
7.
about
We're
7
gonna
minutes
cut
out.
it. We're gonna cut it at 9 minutes again, folks. So I'm gonna try to wrap this question up. Zach was a prime candidate for my punch factor. If you've noticed, pretty much every chapter has a certain punch to it. I try to do that to keep this story rolling. I'm going to talk more about my writing technique in a future part of this particular podcast, but for now, staying on topic, I didn't choose to make Zach a nobody. Zach pretty much chose it for himself. He did this from the very moment he came into being in this story. If you go back to chapter 2, which again is Zach's debut, his overall demeanor, his presence, the things that he says, the things that he does, he's giving off some kind of vibe. He's giving off a vibe that he's too good to be true. I'm going to reiterate this sometime in the future because I think it's a very important point, but just the fact that he sees this naked man in the highway and offers him a ride and anywhere in the galaxy that he wants to go, warning signals should go up, and they went up for me. I saw that Zach was still being true to his character from the games, Final Fantasy VII and that whole compilation, but at the same time he was developing his own independent personality within this particular story. I just fed into that. I'm going to have to cut this short here, and I'll continue it in part 3.